The Bruins' potent depth is giving the Blues fits, and the Stanley Cup finals are tilting Boston's way. Street. Lewis had waited 49 years for a Stanley Cup finals game, and everyone from Jon Hamm to Patrick Mahomes to Pam from The Office, Jenna Fischer, was at Enterprise Center on Saturday night to support their hometown Blues. And what may have been the most star-laden crowd to ever attend a hockey game there witnessed a Street. Lewis team that was overwhelmed not just by the Boston Bruins' big-name players but also their supporting cast in a 7-2 rout. Through 3 games, the Blues have successfully kept the Bruins' top line of center Patrice Bergeron and wingers Marchand and David Pastrnak off the score sheet at even strength, but it hasn't mattered much. Boston now has a 2-1 series lead because of its depth, following a trend of recent past Stanley Cup champions. In all 3 games, the Bruins' fourth line has scored, and while center Sean Curley's goal in Saturday night's game was ultimately just one of 7, it came with just 10 seconds left in the first period to make it a 3-0 deficit at intermission. Perhaps evidence of their frustration, the Blues took costly penalties, and that's where the Bruins stars were able to capitalize. Bergeron, Pastrnak and defenseman Torrey Krug all scored on the power play. "It's about time we get going," Pastrnak told reporters in Street. Lewis. "The whole playoff, every line had their games and that's the biggest key for us, that so far every game there was another line and that's how the team works." Boston's transformation into the deepest team of this postseason started with its acquisition of third-line center Charlie Coyle, who was acquired from the Minnesota Wild in exchange for forward Ryan Donato and a 5th-round pick February 20th. The Bruins then dealt 2nd and 4th-round pick to the New Jersey Devils less than a week later for winger Marcus Johansson. With his first period goal in Game 3, Coyle is now tied with Bergeron and Marchand for the team lead with 8 postseason goals. Johansson recorded the primary assist and he later scored Boston's 4th power play goal for 11 points in 18 games. "I think it's tough to play against," Johansson said earlier this week. "It wears them down. We don't take any breaks. We have 4 lines that can produce and 4 lines that have stepped up in big moments. We got 6 defensemen that all make plays and it makes it tough throughout a whole series, even as salary cap constraints make secondary scoring trickier to afford. 3rd and 4th lines have become more sophisticated, not just defensive grinders but skilled insurance for when top lines tend to cancel each other out in playoff series." For the Pittsburgh Penguins teams that won back-to-back titles in 2016 and 2017, there was first the HBK line of Carl Hagelin, Nick Bonino and Phil Kessel, a third line that gave opposing clubs matchup fits, and then a fourth line with veteran center Matt Cullen that could steadily contribute in a limited role. The Capitals' bottom 6 forward cores with third-line center Lars Eller and fourth-liner Devin Smith-Pelly put Washington over the top last season with 7 goals each. Depth that was missing from the team's repeat bid this year. Boston's Curley line plays more than most fourth lines around the league, with coach Bruce Cassidy deploying that trio with Joakim Nordstrom and Noel Axieri more than 11 minutes at even strength in the first 3 games of this series. There's been some speculation that Bergeron is playing through an injury, not uncommon this time of year, and an added benefit of the Bruins' blowout Saturday was that he received some extra rest down the stretch. Blues goaltender Jordan Binnington was yanked in the second period after allowing 5 goals on 19 shots, the first time he's been pulled in a game in his young career. The talented rookie doesn't deserve the blame for Saturday's result with how often his teammates gave the Bruins power play opportunities, but he started to show some cracks this series. Street. Lewis coach Craig Berube told reporters he remains confident in Binnington and just thought he had seen enough before pulling him Saturday night. Olive Street. Lewis had. "Sometimes it's not going to go your way," Binnington said. "It's a long series. We've come this far. We have to regroup and come back at them for next game."